We got a new shot. We got a new shot in town. Isn't it beautiful? Anyway, today we're going to talk about social media and all the problems, some of the problems that come from it. We're going to talk about Netflix. We're going to talk about TikTok and just my general feelings on all those things. So let's talk about Instagram and Feces Book first and foremost. I hate them both. As of yesterday, my remaining political Instagram account was officially deleted forever. Thanks be to God. It was bad for me to have. It was good. Okay, the memes were fire, all right? I made most of them. I made 90+% of the memes on there, and they were awesome. But it wasn't a good place to be, and it wasn't really doing anything, and it was just an echo chamber, like a lot of social media. I know I talk about this a lot, but I feel like it's important to talk about. So you should delete your Instagram, and you should delete your Facebook, honestly. The only reason I understand someone's point of view of having a Facebook and keeping a Facebook is if like you actually have something to promote, like you own a coffee shop or you own some kind of business and you want to promote with it, like I get that. I don't know if you need to have a Feces Book like for legal reasons, but at the same time I'm like, that's kind of questionable. Yeah, I don't understand the full people's interest in having Feces Book. I actually get part of it. So what I hear ad nauseum from people who have Feces Book and hate it is they say, oh, like I use it to keep in touch with my friends across the country, or oh, I use it to keep in touch with my friends who live internationally. And it's like, okay, I understand that, but don't you have that person's information? Like aside from their Feces Book account, don't you have like their email account or some kind of way to contact them outside of Feces Book? I hope so. And if you don't, you might want to question whether that friendship is really worth saving. But anyway, so I had a Feces Book actually almost right when it started. I had a Feces Book, I think, starting in 2006, which was just a few years after it actually, started. I think it started in 2004, and it really started taking off just a few years later. And when I was on it, actually, there was this group of college kids, because you used to have to be in college to have a Facebook account, and there's this group called like get all these middle schoolers and high schoolers off of Facebook, because they didn't like it that there were people who were not in college on Facebook. Understandable, but yeah, so I started on Facebook then, and I had it for quite a few years. I had it for at least 5 years. Hold on, I had it for 8 years. I had that specific account for 8 years. And eventually I deleted it. I was pretty addicted, in all seriousness. I was addicted. Like, I want everyone who uses social media, anyone who watches this or doesn't watch this, and you pose this to anyone, think about whether or not you're addicted to it. Are you addicted to Facebook? Are you addicted to Instagram? Are you addicted to TikTok? Are you addicted to YouTube? Are you addicted to Twitter, etc., etc.? Let me show you the American Sign Language sign for addicted. It's this. Because you're hooked. Like a fish. Pathetic. Anyway, yeah, I was pretty addicted to Feces Book, but I kind of was able to examine it a little bit more in depth as time went on, because I loved taking pictures and I loved putting them on Feces Book. Like, if I went on a trip, I would take a ton of pictures and put them on Feces Book. You know, if I went to some event, I would take a bunch of pictures and put them on Feces Book. And I thought that I was doing that because I wanted the likes, you know, but I would notice that like the pictures that I was really proud of, like the pictures that I thought were like actually really good shots and really good shot composition, etc., like almost never got very many likes. Or even the pictures of things that I thought were really interesting almost never got likes or didn't get very many likes. And I realized that I actually just liked the act of taking pictures and that I didn't need to put them on Feces Book. But yeah, so anyway, I also noticed that I prided myself on some of my statuses, okay? I had a tendency to write pretty hilarious, pretty out there statuses, and a lot of people would like them, or comment on them or what have you. And it got to the point though where I realized that the same exact 64 people were always liking my status is, like the same exact ones, you know? So it's like, what is the point of doing that if it's the same fucking people who are also addicted to Feces Book just hitting like? Like, that's kind of stupid and useless. So I was debating about getting rid of my Feces Book for a while. Like, it was honestly like kind of being in an abusive relationship. I know that's a pretty extreme comparison, but that's really how I felt. Like I really had to like debate with myself if I wanted this thing or not, if I wanted Feces Book or not. And I was like, oh, you know, like, what if all these people that I'm in contact with like don't contact me, or like, you know, are people gonna contact me after I get off of Feces Book? And that was like the concern, right? But like, that shouldn't really be your concern if it's something that's like fun and social. You shouldn't be debating with yourself whether or not you want that social media thing. Okay, because if you're debating with yourself, chances are you don't fucking want it. Like, quote me. But anyway, so I finally got rid of my Feces Book because I saw no point in keeping it. And a few people contacted me, but not nearly as many as I would have liked. And that's actually because they weren't really worthwhile relationships. And I know that's hard for people to realize. I know that people don't want to think that, you know, their great aunt Susan doesn't actually care about them, but like your great aunt Susan probably doesn't actually care about you. Sorry. Or like, you know, I don't fucking know, Kyle Callahan from second period study hall. He probably doesn't care about you either, you know. Just that kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, it also gives people like this weird soapbox effect. It makes people, you know, want to post things or say things or write things or share things, that it just gives them this weird platform that really wouldn't exist were it not for Feces Book, were it not for social media, right? And people also, for a fact, write things from behind the safety of their computer screen that they would likely never say in real life, that they would likely never say in public. And I think we should actually bring soapboxes back. We should bring like public speaking corners back. Like, that'd be cool. And you should say your opinions out loud in public, by all means. I would respect that a lot more than people who just write stupid shit on Feces Book. I can't tell you how many people I've heard say this same exact thing almost verbatim, which is like, oh yeah, well, I found out on Facebook that like this guy I served with in the military, or like my old friend from college, or so-and-so was actually a racist, was actually a sexist, actually had all these really fucked up beliefs. Like, was my cat. Okay, well, first of all, I'm glad you found that out. And second of all, if you're talking about someone who you were friendly with, who you served in the military with 20 plus years ago, and you just happen to be friends on Facebook, and that's really the extent of your interaction, it's like, even if you were friends like 20 years prior, like while you were in the military, it's like, did you really keep in touch? Like, do you really visit this person? You know, are you guys like really actually friends, or are you just friendly and you like fondly remember that era of your life together? That's another thing, is that I cannot emphasize this enough. And I want to, like, if I could shake the camera right now, I would, but I can't because it's a sensitive shot. But someone hitting like on your hitting like on your statuses, or hitting like on your pictures, or hitting like on your posts or whatever, like, that is not a genuine interaction. Do you understand me? It's not. That is so effortless. That is so easy. How easy is it to fucking click like? You tell me. How easy is it to fucking click heart? Right? It's easy to do. It's not thoughtful. Okay? It's fake. Honestly. I just find it to be really fake. The other thing about Feces book is that, or just social media in general, is that we overreact, right? When so-and-so posts that thing that you don't like and it makes you really mad, like, we overreact, probably because we too are hiding behind, you know, our phone screens, our computer screens, right? It's like you overreact to these words written on a computer, or these words you're seeing on a computer. And like I said in other recent vids, is that we actually seek out negative interactions more on the internet than we do positive ones, because when it's a negative interaction, you get more feedback, you get more interaction from the person. You know, you're not gonna like interact frequently or enthusiastically if you're just like, hey, nice grill, you know. If you're like, oh, what a cute dog, you know, you're not gonna do that. You're gonna be like, why the fuck are you using that grill? That grill sucks. You need to start using this grill. Or like, why the fuck is your dog overweight? Blah, 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 blah. That's what you want to do. You want to react. You want to, like, lash out. It causes you to want to lash out at other people. I'm convinced. So FOMO is increased. Fear of missing out. That's really increased by these things like Feces book or social media, right? I knew this woman. We're not friends anymore. Hey. But I knew her a few years ago, and she was really obsessed with Feces book, and she was really obsessed with seeing if her boyfriend's ex-girlfriend had liked any of his stuff he put on social media recently. It was the weirdest shit ever. And then she would get, like, if his ex had liked anything on his Feces book, my former friend would get, like, really mad and be like, why did she like that thing? I'm not exaggerating, okay? This actually happened, and I know this type of thing happens more often than I'm aware, because I'm not on Facebook, thanks be to God, but, like, it encourages people to behave that way, doesn't it? It does. Okay. So, I went to Europe a few years ago, and I put pictures up of it on Facebook, and I met up with this gal who I was friends with at the time, who lived in another city, or she visited me. I can't really remember. It doesn't matter. But we met up, and I was like, "Oh, hey, I went to Europe," and she was like, "Yeah, I saw on Facebook." And she wasn't like trying to be annoying by saying that. She was just saying, matter of factly, that she had seen it on Facebook, and that actually annoyed me though. That she said, "Oh yeah, I saw that you went to Europe on Facebook," and I was like, "What the fuck?" I mean, it's normal though, right? I don't think it's inherently bad, but I would just rather tell you these things. I would rather tell you about my life if we are in fact actual friends, right? And I want you, if we're actually friends, to like actually respond. Anyway, we should be striving for real, actual connections here, and not fake ass stupid ones where you can just hit like a fucking moron. I actually did a phone fast recently. I did a 24-hour phone fast, and it was awesome. I decided I was going to do this phone fast, and I texted a bunch of people, and I was just like, hey, I'm not going to be looking at my phone for the next 24 hours, but call me if there's an emergency. Obviously, there weren't any emergencies, but like, within those 24 hours, I seriously felt better than I ever have in like many years, you know, because I wasn't wasting time fucking death scrolling on my phone. And the amount of people that I messaged, like the people that I actually messaged and I said, hey, I'm going to be going on a phone fast for 24 hours, those are the people that I actually care about, you know. That was the conclusion that I came to when I text, like that day, when I was like, hey, I guess those are the people that I like, you know, really want, that I do really know, and I really want to know me, you know. So I encourage you to do a phone fast. Okay. We're gonna talk some more about social media, but we're also gonna talk about Netflix and streaming sites. Okay, who's excited? So I don't know if you guys know this, but they're actually struggling. Like, streaming sites are actually struggling a fair amount because I think that they're really losing viewers just in general. Danny thought that deserved a dramatic piano sound. They're losing a lot of viewers. Wow, that's a whole scale right there. They're losing a lot of viewers. The quality of their stuff is so bad. Like, almost everything on Netflix is such shit. Okay, quote me. I really believe that. I really believe that it is. And that's because I don't think Netflix as a company really cares that much as far as quality goes. Like, I I hate the cameras they use. They look like garbage. They look like newsreel video cameras. Okay, that's the actual type of camera they use for any show on Netflix, and it looks horrible. It makes everything look like a sitcom, and I do honestly believe, I know this is crazy, I actually believe that there is such a thing as 2HD. But the thing about there being 2HD is, like, not even just 2HD, is that everything is overproduced. Like, really. I forgot what this was, but it was some show about like college kids. Okay, there's a number of college kids in this show, and all of them had like perfect hair, perfect makeup, you know, styled clothing, tailored clothing, and I'm like, is that how college students usually dress? The answer is no, they don't. They don't really. Some of them do, sure. There is the occasional person who really, you know, goes ham on their outfits, but like most people don't fucking dress that way. And it's just it's annoying to me to see that kind of production value put into things that don't necessarily matter that much. But anyway, So I'm sure everyone's done this. I was just doing this quite literally before I made this video. And that's that, like, don't you go on Netflix or any, streaming website and just scroll forever because you don't know what to pick. And a lot of people fall asleep, scrolling, trying to find something to watch. I was with a guy quite a few years ago, and he and I were on Netflix, and he was scrolling for a couple minutes, and then he handed me the controller. He was like, "Here, you pick something. I just scroll on this. I don't ever pick anything. Just you do it." It's like, oh, okay. But really though, like the reason you scroll forever on Netflix is because you've already been conditioned to do so on social media. Okay, sorry. I was gonna talk about Stranger Things. I feel like Stranger Things became as successful as it is because it takes place in the 80s before there was any kind of social media. There was no social media. There were landlines and payphones, and if you were really lucky, maybe a car phone or a cell phone, but I don't even think any of those have been depicted in Stranger Things as far as I'm aware. Danny, that's a great song. That's a great song, honey. And the thing about Stranger Things, though, is that you can tell that the guys who made it, oh my God, I don't think I remember their names off the top of my head. Fuck. The something brothers, not the Warner Brothers. It starts with a D. I can't remember. You can tell from that show that they were raised on 80s movies. 80s movies were like their thing. That's why Stranger Things has such, obviously it takes place in the 80s, but not only does it take place in the 80s and they have all those goddamn 80s set design and paraphernalia, is it has an 80s vibe to it. Like if you watch E.T., Goonies, whatever the fuck other 80s movies, you will get a Stranger Things vibe from those because that's what the Duffer Brothers based Stranger Things on. Okay? And the thing about that is maybe people just need to be doing more cocaine because that's what everyone was doing in the 80s and we got really cool movies out of it. I'm kidding. But you really had to have, movies back then really had to have heart. You really had a lot of heart. And I would argue that a show like Stranger Things does in fact have a lot of heart. And that's probably why so few other shows on Netflix are successful or as successful as Stranger Things. Why don't we talk about YouTube? And I want to ask you something about YouTube, and I'm serious about this. And this is including my videos, if you're a big fan of mine, okay? This is including my videos. You watch a lot of shit on YouTube, probably, right? Probably? How many of those things that you watch on YouTube do you actually remember? Sure, you could go to your history and look at the videos that you watched and be like, oh yeah, this one was about this one was about the other thing. I remember watching this. But honestly, I pretty much switched out my Instagram addiction for a YouTube addiction, and I thought about it, and I was like, wow, I don't even remember anything I watched on YouTube. Or I barely remember anything I watched on YouTube. And that's because most things on YouTube aren't really that memorable. Even if it's something you're actually interested in, whatever you're interested in, history, architecture, I don't know, whatever the fuck, right? It's how much of that do you actually remember? I'm asking you. Because the answer I already know is probably very little. I hope you remember me, but I'm just here to entertain you, baby. I'm not only here to entertain you, I'm here to like make you think. I'm here to make you question your reality and the reality around you and the reality of others around you. I'm here to make you question your own actions and the actions of those around you. And I hope that you're doing that when you're not watching my videos. I hope that my videos make you do that. Anyway, I want to talk about TikTok. I fucking hate TikTok so much. And that is because I'm bitter for having been banned off there. Because I hurt the trannies' feelings. Because I said the mean words about gender. I'm bitter about that, but at the same time, that website is fucking disgusting and addicting. And it's pretty frightening, in all seriousness. I find it really scary. Jack, do you have to do that right now? You had to do that right now. So, what annoys me a lot about TikTok, and I saw this a lot on Instagram, but not only on Instagram, I know there are a lot of TikTok videos on YouTube, is like how unoriginal and garbage most TikToks are. Okay? I am pretty disappointed in whoever the fuck is watching TikTok, that these videos of people like using audio from a different source, from a pre-existing source, like The Office or some movies or even like commercials, or even just other TikToks, right? Like the trendy thing to do is to lip sync to the audio track and make it somehow relevant to something fucking stupid you're doing, like washing the dishes, or like doing your eye makeup, or like standing around, like doing something fucking pointless. And like, I'm so annoyed. It's just so annoying to me, and I'm so annoyed that people think it's entertaining to like grab a sound bite from The Office and put it into like you doing your homework or something fucking stupid. You think you're talented because you can lip sync to a random audio bit? Mawayats makan, weto alevu, unar huya. Mansute kembesinga, tirkutskaun tokrahatsi samsiu. That is Navi, which I picked up from watching Avatar so many times, and I learned how to speak. Okay, so take that, you fucking TikTok lip syncers. You think you're special for lip syncing to some stupid shit because you ain't, and you look dumb as fuck. But congratulations if you can be a millionaire off that shit. Y'all know how I feel about makeup, right? I know that y'all know that. I know that y'all know how I feel about makeup, but like, even like, I haven't really seen that many TikToks about makeup. But even the TikTok makeup things are not original. Like, they're just following a formula. They're just following the exact same formula that the other millions of TikTok makeup tutorials, makeup videos did. And it's not original. And like, I'm also pretty disturbed by how frequently people do stupid shit for the camera, like go into a store and like throw milk on the floor or something. Like, they'll get like a gallon of milk and like throw it on the floor and it spills everywhere for TikTok. Like, that's embarrassing. Or they'll like, I've seen this a lot where people exploit their own personal life moments by filming them for TikTok. I think that's pretty embarrassing as well. Yeah. So the solution to this is to get off of social media. And a solution to this is to Stop being such a fucking zombie and stop being such a fucking slave to your phone. And the solution to this is to value your time more. I'm sorry I can't remember the title. This was on Netflix. It was some kids show. Some like spooky kids show that I watched. It kind of reminded me of like Are You Afraid of the Dark or Goosebumps. I don't remember what it's called. I feel like it might have been, in at least one episode the kids were Australian, but it might have been Canadian. I digress. There was this one episode about this little boy who was playing like a group video game with his friends. And they were all like, oh, like they had fun playing the game. And then this little boy was like, oh, come on, like, let's do another one. And they're like, oh, no, dude, we have things to do tomorrow. These, like, middle schoolers, right? We're like, oh, no, dude, like, I gotta go to soccer tomorrow. Like, oh, I gotta do my homework tomorrow, that kind of thing. And this kid wanted to just keep playing. And what would happen is he would keep playing, and then longer and longer of periods of time would pass when he was playing this video game. And he eventually like woke up one day and he was like in his 20s and he couldn't remember how much time, he just couldn't remember anything from middle school. And he was like trying to tell his mom, he told his brother, and he was like, yeah, like I just don't know what happened, like I was in middle school and I woke up and now I'm in my 20s, like. And his brother was like, okay, well, I'll help you. But it just went back. The main character, the main boy in it, ended up just going back to playing video games because he was addicted. And that episode got me. I was like, wow, this shit is real. Because it is real. Like, how much time have you wasted on Instagram? How much time have you wasted on YouTube? How much time have you wasted on TikTok? How much time have you wasted on Feces book? I don't know the answer to that. You know the answer to that. When I did a phone fast, I seriously, like, I just had this feeling that I hadn't really had in like actual years. And I encourage everyone, therefore, to do a phone fast as well. Okay? Go out and do something that's actually worth doing and actually worthwhile. Thank you for watching my video. Goodbye.